Okay, everybody, here we go. It is me, Gregory Mannarino, Wednesday, March 15th, 2023. Let's cut right to the chase here. It appears that this contained banking crisis has now gone worldwide, and stocks are getting slammed around the world. And here in the United States, well, trading doesn't start for about 35 minutes, and at the open, stocks are going to drop substantially. Part of this is stemming from, maybe you know about this, maybe you don't. Yesterday, I was in the war room with Owen, and we discussed some breaking news. Here was the breaking news here. The Federal Reserve is now, or has now created a bank funding program to add liquidity to the banking system. This is the kiss of death, okay, for the Federal Reserve to now have to, this is a bailout. Let's call this what it is. The Fed's going to add liquidity to the banking system. It's a bailout. They're just not saying it, but that's what it is. It's a bailout. What's the difference between what the Federal Reserve did during the last meltdown by pumping cash into the system, adding liquidity, to what the Federal Reserve is doing right now by adding liquidity to the system via this new funding program? Again, this is the kiss of death. The Federal Reserve, the Treasury, the banking regulators, they all know what's going on here. And not a single one of us, not one of you out here believed that this SVB bank thing was, the end all. It was a one-off. No, nobody believed that. And we'll see how this is going to play out. Listen to me. Listen to Greg Mannarino here. We are in yet again another full-blown banking crisis. Look, you can't have a situation that you and I were well aware of for many, many months, about 8 months ago. No deposits, no loans, and no deals. This can't happen without a ripple effect throughout the entire global banking system, as the world economy is dead. It's over. Speaking about that, we got some really good information today, or really obvious news here on the economic front here. So factory activity continues to fall off of a cliff. It's over here in the United States. Factories, manufacturing, it's just done. Retail sales fall. Oh, and they want you to believe that inflation is getting better. Meanwhile, producer prices year over year have now gone up 4.6%, according to their own numbers. Inflation continues to rise. It's got nowhere to go but much higher. All right, so that's the real story today. This banking crisis has now gone worldwide, and we haven't seen anything yet. It's astonishing to me. When I was on that show yesterday with Owen in the war room, I said it's going to be interesting to see, quote, this is what I said, how the market reacts to the Federal Reserve's new funding program to add liquidity to the system. Well, we're getting a glimpse of it right now. It's the kiss of death. Here we have the Federal Reserve admitting that there is a major problem in the banking system, and yet again, they're getting another bailout. Why is it? Let me ask you this, okay? So we heard from the mummy man when this whole SVB bank thing went down, the nanosecond, that same day, they floated out the mummy, our president and thief, to tell us that the banking system was fine. They floated out, they dusted off Maxine Waters too. She said the same thing. Obviously, these two people were lying to us. Where's the accountability? Let's see what they're going to do. Why is it that there will be no accountability yet again? No one's going to hold President Imbecile, nor the thing, whatever it is, yet to be defined, Maxine Waters, again, to account, because they know so much. They're so smart, these two people. Collectively, they don't even have a tenth of one functioning brain cell, okay? They're just liars, and they just like everybody else telling us that this whole thing is going to be fine, our economy is great, inflation is transitory, it's temporary, it's peaking. We've been lied to, people. And where are the people in the streets revolting? Oh, they're not there. Of course, and they won't be either. I want to bring something else to your attention here. In October of 2022, Bank of America, look this up for yourself, Bank of America came out warning. This is exactly what they said. The Treasury market is fragile, and a forced selling could lead to a breakdown. I mean, yeah, hello. Look, let's put another perspective on this. Every single one of you out here who follows this blog realizes that the root cause of this problem is the hyper debt bubble. Okay, we got that. What's going on here is we are seeing, I mean, in our face, signs of instability here in the debt market, treasury market, just like Bank of America warned about. But we didn't need Bank of America to tell us a damn thing, because you and I knew this already way before 2022, okay? This whole thing is breaking down right now. This is, as I've been explaining since before the whole SVB bank came to light, we're in a systemic breakdown, a systemic meltdown, and now we're in a global banking crisis, and yet again, the banks are getting bailed out. The banks are getting bailed out. What else would you call this? Okay, I want you to look this up for yourself, okay? The Federal Reserve is creating a bank funding program to add liquidity to the banking system. It's a bailout. I don't, you know, of course they have to phrase, they can't say it. Imagine, for example, Maxine Waters, who they just floated out, or Biden say, hey, you know, everyone, I got a big surprise for you. You're not supposed to know this, but yeah, there's another banking bailout going on right now, and you're all screwed. What they won't tell you is, and they obviously will not tell you, by adding liquidity to the system, liquidity means they got to pump the system full of cash, more heroin, okay? It means that inflation is going to, I think it's pretty obvious here what's going on, people. It's out of control. Now, here's something else you want to know about. So Moody's, you know, the rating agency that got everything wrong during the last crisis here, they have now downgraded the entire banking sector to negative, from stable to negative. And on top of that, we have a worldwide banking crisis unfolding before our eyes, and they're getting a bailout. Imagine my shock here. Imagine your shock. So, again, going back to the economic front, producer prices continue to rise, higher by 4.6% year over year, but this is great news, isn't it? The factory activity, again, just done. It's over, and I've been telling you this for the longest time. Retail sales fall, and the banking crisis goes worldwide. What else can I tell you? Stock futures are down hardcore. This market is about to get slammed. Although you got some pretty serious debt buying right now. Are you watching the relative strength of the dollar? It is up by over 1%. Crude oil remaining under pressure here as global demand is falling off of a cliff. It won't last, okay? This is probably an opportunity to buy crude and energy because, again, the dollar, fiat currencies around the world are going to be sucked dry even faster now that there's going to be a bailout of the banking system here. They're going to add liquidity. They're going to add liquidity to the system. That means they're going to be pumping it full of cash, which is massively inflationary. You're not allowed to know that. Gold and silver are catching a bid this morning. You got Bitcoin around 24,000, and that's the situation. So here's what I want to do. I want to hear from all of you. What do you think about this? Is there going to be any kind of an outcry, or are they going to try to shield this bailout? This is what this is, okay? It's a bailout. The Federal Reserve can't just add liquidity to the system and not call it a bailout, but they're not going to. They're not going to call it a bailout, but that's what it is. It's a bailout. I tell you, we have a system that's run by mummies and ghouls and freaks and Lex Luthors. What else would you expect? What would you expect in this kind of a thing, people? Let me ask you, seriously. We're friends, right? All of us are friends here. I think we understand what's going on here, but I really do want to hear from you. I also want you to understand this, and something I know you do already if you follow this blog. Everything you're seeing here, we knew was coming, okay? Watch my old videos here. I've been telling you for I don't know how long, if you think things are bad, they're going to get a lot worse. And I'm telling you right now, how this thing is unfolding is going to lead us to a worst case scenario, a complete meltdown of the global financial system by design, so they can foster and bring in a new system of maximum control here. And that's what they're going to do, people. I really hope you understand what you're seeing. All right, so with that said, here we go, people. Another bailout for the banks. Imagine my shock. Imagine your shock. No one's surprised here. No one at all. People, this guy here loves you a lot. Please comment. Please, if you got anything out of this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Get this stuff out there. I'll see you later for the live stream. You know what time, right? 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll cover all this.